What to eat, we know what to eat, if that was the question. So lots of fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans and other legumes, they should be the majority of your plate. We want some nuts and seeds and lots of herbs and spices on there. So these are the things we know to eat. I can talk about some really great additional specifics. I mean, we like to talk about the diet pattern, but there's also some great evidence suggesting that things like cruciferous vegetables have anti-cancer properties. So your broccoli, your cauliflower, cabbage, kale, mushrooms. There was a big overview recently looking at all the studies on mushrooms. I mean, who knew there were so many studies on mushrooms, showing that there is a significantly reduced risk of cancer for people who eat the most mushrooms. And flax, ground flax has anti-cancer properties. You want onions and garlic, the allium family. I said ground flax, I think already. You want the dark berries with all their antioxidants. Soy, we must talk about soy. Everybody should include, unless you have a soy allergy, which is not very common, you should include soy in your diet on a daily basis. Your minimally processed soy products, so your edamame, tofu, tempeh, miso, soy milk, because eating that reduces your risk of getting breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer. If you have a diagnosis already of breast cancer, it reduces your risk of getting breast cancer recurrence and dying of breast cancer. And that's a huge thing to say, because it's such a persistent myth that soy products cause cancer. Green tea, anti-cancer properties there as well. So, just eat the colors of the rainbow, eat lots of fruits and vegetables. Definitely limit your red meat, processed meat, raw meat. Dairy we can talk about. Dairy has mixed data. The cancer guidelines don't come down very specifically on dairy because it is mixed, but we do note that the strongest data for dairy is it's linked to prostate cancer. There's a number of studies, meta-analyses linking it to prostate cancer. In breast cancers, which is, so the second one probably is endometrial cancer, the strongest link. And then breast cancer is quite mixed as well, but excuse me. But I do tell my patients that, I let them know that this is not specifically in the guidelines, but dairy has in it estrogens, and you take dairy, we measure your estrogen levels will go up. So for my patients with breast cancer, especially the estrogen-driven ones, I say that you don't want that. You have dairy, you increase your insulin-like growth factor, which we've talked about being a factor that causes proliferation and cell growth. It has casein in it, the protein that has been shown in laboratory studies to promote cancer growth. It has saturated fat. We know that we don't want saturated fat. And we know that there are studies in breast cancer showing that it can increase the risk of breast cancer in a dose response. And that to me is so important, because that's how we figured out that smoking was bad for us. It was that the association in the big studies, but with that dose response as well. And one study last year, the Adventist Health Study, you will know this, that it had about, I think about 50,000 people, and they followed people and they looked at their dairy intake. You have half a glass of dairy a day, your risk of breast cancer goes up by 30%. You have 3 glasses a day, it goes up by 80%. You switch it to soy milk, you reduce your risk by 30%. So I do say to my patients, just think about this, because let's use the precautionary principle. You already have a diagnosis of breast cancer. Think about switching it to soy milk, get all the benefits of the soy, and ditch the dairy, because we really don't need dairy. There's no reason to have dairy. There's better choices to make. It's not on our food guide anymore, in terms of it's not an essential food group, food nutrient, whatever we want to call it. So whole food, plant-based, just eat plants.
Yes. Yes. just